As new games come out, as the years go by, and the gaming space evolves, different variations of genres and styles are introduced for us to enjoy as players. And with the evolution of these games being pushed out and produced at such a rapid rate, we have come to familiarize ourselves with these new game modes and archetypes we have grown to love, such as battle royales, FPS games, sandbox games, and even open world RPGs. As I was scrolling through my timeline whilst writing the script for this video, I've come to realize that many people share the same opinion, that lots of open world games, especially RPGs, have become oversaturated, repetitive, dull, to put it simply, boring. And as someone who plays these games quite often in their free time, enjoying them to their heart's content, I have found myself asking an array of questions. Why are these players losing interest? Do game developers have the players' interests at heart? Do these games need to be open world? Why have open world games become more and more boring? So I took the liberty of playing a selection of games along with researching certain titles to find the answer to that one question. But instead, I found something that a lot of modern world games seem to lack. In this video, we are going to be answering that one question: why open world games make gaming more fun? While researching and playing these games, I've come to realize many things they have in common. The cast of characters, the open world setting, and even the objectives we have to complete. They all have a familiar feel to them, in which, despite being able to go anywhere and everywhere, the player still has a clear-cut goal to achieve to reach the next checkpoint. But even then, certain games have distinct attributes that stick out among the rest, for better or for worse. Take Hoyo vs. Genshin Impact, for example. Even though it's built like an open world game, it has a horrific gacha that honestly just keeps sucking their players dry within each and every update. But more on that in another video. And while the open world can be stunning at times, it's very tedious to get through. Between the limited stamina and constant enemies that barely drop the artifacts or materials you need, most players rather smash their head into a wall than even admire this gorgeous world at all. And to add more fuel to the fire, most times the main story feels like a bunch of side quests put together, making the player feel unengaged and disinterested. I cannot describe to you how bored I felt playing certain quests in this game, and the story would have felt much better pacing-wise if certain parts of the main quests were completely cut. When I log into a game, I don't want to feel like I'm clocking into my daily 9 to 5. I want to feel like I'm escaping this world and being liberated from the cares of life. Not to mention, this game is over 60 hours long. 60 hours! And it takes nearly triple that just to reach completion status, especially with the FOMO aspect embedded into this game with limited banner units and unique events that may never return. And keep in mind that the average person most likely won't be playing video games all day, most likely having a day job, school, and extra hobbies on the side. So saying that this game doesn't respect your time is an understatement. Now, when going through my research and playing these various games, keeping an open mind was the key. Because even though these games were very similar, they were not entirely the same, each of them having clear differences that set them apart. Let's look at one of the most popularized RPGs to date, Persona 5. One of the things that Persona 5 excels in is making the player feel immersed in each and every part of the story. When you play the main character, Joker, we get to see his story and his character development throughout the game, becoming a framed delinquent in a new environment where the world is against him, to becoming a phantom thief, and gaining respect from his fellow peers. The confidant system allows the player and Joker to build relationships with the other characters in the game and gain incentives for it, such as new quality of life perks or upgrades for your persona. As the player embarks on this journey through the eyes of Joker, we see that there's a more overarching story, not just a high school boy trying to redeem himself to society, but also whether their method of relinquishing the world from evil and the criminals thereof was truly morally just or right. Because of this in-depth story and its rich characters, we as the player can feel what they feel and experience the world as if we were present. When the games we play not only allow us to get immersed, but feel like we are a part of it and its community, that's where these games get their charm, as if the world lives and breathes on its own, while other games are just reliant on the player for this world to even exist.